Hello, everyone. So I am so excited tonight. I am so excited tonight. The Curl Confidence Academy has launched. It has launched. I have been working on this for a few years, and it started out with content of a certain type, kind of transitioned into a few other types of content, but ultimately I settled on the specific content that you were asking for. Let's talk about our hair and midlife and all the things that that means, all the things that's happening to our hair during midlife, and then breaking it apart into chunks where you can focus in on this particular piece at this point, or maybe skip some because maybe those particular aspects are not issues for you. But it's a series of 8 different documents, if you will, that we can step through, we can talk about, you can download, you can have the resources right in front of you. And also, it also includes an assessment so that we can take a look at the wellness of your hair. So again, I am so excited to have launched this Curl Confidence Academy, and I am ready to jump into this initial content. So we're going to talk about menopause tonight, all the things that menopause does to our hair. Again, you are not alone. You are not alone. Um, I know I'm experiencing it, and there are so many women just like you that are experiencing some of these very same challenges with their hair and menopause. And at times it's just like, I don't know what to do. I've tried everything and nothing is working. But sometimes it could just be a small pivot can make the big difference. So it doesn't need to be a complete redo. It can be a small pivot that can make the biggest difference. So let's get into this. So I am going to share with you some of the aspects that is included in the document. And again, this resource is available on the website right now. We just launched this. We just launched this academy. Oh my gosh, I am so excited. It's like one of those things that you just spend so much time on, and it's like, gosh, am I really going to get to the end of this? Am I really going to be able to launch this? And I did. And I am so exceedingly proud of the content we've been able to put together and how it can drive meaningful changes because I've already been giving this content in small bits, and just taking the feedback and then using that to make the information even better than what it was. But let's jump into this. So, you know, so many things that we could withstand at our younger age with the way our bodies work, and it didn't have the same impact. But, as you age, you can't do all of the exact same things you used to be able to do. Sometimes maybe it requires more effort. Sometimes maybe you have to step back a little bit. And it can be that same way with our hair. And so when you're thinking about drying and dangerous ingredients, anything from the basic alcohol can be just a bit too harsh. Some of the stronger preservatives can be just a bit too harsh. And we have to keep in mind that more than 70% of products marketed for Black hair contain dangerous ingredients. That's compared to 40% of the hair products that are marketed for the general public. So we've got to get comfortable reading ingredient labels so that we're choosing the best products with the best ingredients. So here we go. We're serious about growth. Normal growth is about a half inch a month. So if you're not seeing that, you need to make some changes. And that change may involve getting in to see a dermatologist. But again, I am giving you some of the high level information that is available, and then you can decide, does this matter to me? Is this meaningful to me? And if it is, you can follow that link and go ahead and purchase this particular ebook and jump right into it. It's an immediate download that'll be available to you. You don't even have to wait. Now, moisture is essential to healthy hair growth, and we just can't get around it. When we were younger, our bodies did more, and as we age, our bodies aren't doing as much as they used to be able to do for us. So sometimes we are going to have to supplement or do a little bit more, or maybe mix things up with products, but we cannot get beyond the pure fact that moisture is essential for healthy hair growth. And how we go about getting that moisture is what we may need to think about doing a bit differently, now that we're in midlife. And shampooing, it is still critical because you need to remove that product buildup off your hair to be able to get that next surge of moisture into your hair, because product buildup can block that moisture from actually getting into your hair. And so shampoo is still, it's still important. It does indeed remove the buildup. It cleanses the hair and scalp and it prepares your hair to be moisturized. So don't be afraid of shampooing. Deep conditioning is still vital, and that deep conditioning can happen pre-shampoo or post-shampoo. And believe me, it works equally well because I do it both ways just to assess, am I getting the same benefit? And I am, and you will too. And deep conditioning with oil, that is a good one as well. One of the things that I love to do is using sunflower seed oil or organic pumpkin seed oil, along with some amla and fenugreek. And that is one of my favorite pre-shampoos that I like to do. And then sometimes it may just be using Nourish treatment and then with a heating cap or steam to really help with that penetration. But deep conditioning with oil is just as good as deep conditioning with an actual treatment product. Now, porosity, we can't get around this. And this is something that can become a bit more common as we're moving into midlife. But just know this, porosity is a measure of how well our hair absorbs and retains moisture. And it's affected by our cuticles. It's affected by our cuticles. And see, high porosity is the biggest challenge because with low porosity and normal porosity, you're in that sweet spot. And so it's a bit easier to work with, but high porosity, that can be the greatest challenge because in this case, your hair readily receives the moisture, but it loses it just as easily, which is why you may go through the process of going through your shampoo day, you're moisturizing, everything looks good for a couple of days, and then it's dry again. And it's kind of like, what happened? It's like, what happened? Because it was looking so good and now it's not so much. But understand there is a reason. And there's also a process that you can rectify that high porosity. It does take time. It does mean that you'll need to make some changes to the way that you're styling your hair, the way that you're treating your hair and nourishing your hair, but it can definitely be changed. Now, cotton. Cotton is like the Achilles heel of moisturized hair because it will pull moisture right from your hair, just as it does from your skin. You're using your skincare treatments at night and you're feeling so special as you're massaging them in. And then when your face is on a cotton pillowcase, in the same way that cotton pulls moisture from your hair, it will pull the products right from your face, the same moisture right from your face. So we still need to be protective of our hair and not letting it get roughed up, I guess is the best way to say it. As far as with that cotton pillowcase, and this is where satin and silk is so key. Trimming the ends, it is still important. And I'm not saying you need to go in and take inches off, but on an ongoing basis, you need to trim your ends. And this is more so if you're doing a lot of direct heat styling, like flat irons or curling irons, anything there, a lot of direct heat with blow dryers when you're getting the blow dryer nozzle right close to your hair. So that is where you do need to keep those ends trimmed and consider it like maintenance. It's the same maintenance you go through when you're washing your face. It's the same maintenance you go through when you're brushing your teeth. Trimming your ends is just one of another aspect of maintenance that your hair does need. Now, and also think about detangling as being a way to manage shedding. We shed about 50 to 100 hairs a day, and I know that seems like a lot, but you've got a lot of hair on your head, and we shed 50 to 100 hairs a day. Regardless of how our hair is styled, we're shedding. And so think about detangling as a way to manage shedding. It is a way to get those shed hairs out because shed hairs are not your friend. If they stay in your hair, it's just going to create knots and tangles and just create havoc. Shed hairs are not your friend, but they are something that you want to keep up with because there's a difference between shedding and breakage. So if you've got pieces and parts of hair, is what you're seeing in your comb, in your brush. That's breakage, and breakage is never normal. But shedding is like the full length of your hair because the hair has detached from the scalp. Now, that is a normal part of the hair growth cycle. But again, that's 50 to 100 hairs a day. And if we are wearing our hair in a style like you're in a wash and go or you're in a twist style, so it's a style where you cannot literally pull the comb through your hair, pull the comb through your hair, that shed hair is staying in. And the detangling process is your opportunity to go ahead and get those shed hairs out. So that is key there. Now, we should also talk a bit about superfoods. There are a number of different types of foods that you can incorporate into your diet. And I'm not saying that you have to eat all 19 of these, but look at the list and think about what works for you. What do you like? Or maybe is it something that you have been thinking about trying and this is your impetus to go ahead and try something different. So we can take care of our hair with the products that we're using on our hair, with the foods that we're consuming, and then with supplements as well. And so again, and I just, in fact, again, that one of my favorite deep conditioners, and you'll see this listed here, is Ayurvedic herbs. And so for me, what I really love is amla and fenugreek. So again, this is what is key for menopause. You've got options. You're not alone. We can recover your hair. It will take some planning. It'll take a look at what you're doing right now and then figuring out what needs to change. And keep in mind, it doesn't mean that you need to throw everything away and start all over because it could be a pivot. It could be a pivot. It could be a product swap. And then that's what makes the difference for you, and then you'll be all set. So again, if this content interests you, this document, this is Menopause Messing with Your Majestic Curls, is available right now on the website, and the link will be in the YouTube post. But take a look, decide if this is for you. And I've got some more content coming because, again, there are several items that is a part of the Curl Confidence Academy, and this is just the first step. But thank you. Thank you. Don't forget to subscribe and share this information. Hope you have a great evening.